Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Quiet Riddle. I appreciate you stopping by our little spot to chill out with us today. By the way, if you like the music on this channel, go to our YouTube music channel at DrizzlerWorks Music, or just click on the link in this video. Your support helps other good people like yourself. So with that said, Miyamoto Musashi, a name that echoes through history like the strike of a sword against stone. A Ronin, a strategist, a philosopher, and a man who carved his own path, not through comfort, but through solitude, discipline, and ruthless self-honesty. Today we're diving into Dokkodo, the path of the loner, the 21 principles Musashi wrote just days before his death. These weren't rules for society. They weren't commandments meant to impress a ruler or a school of followers. They were guiding principles for him, his internal compass, his final attempt to pass on the distilled truth of a lifetime spent mastering not just combat, but the self. Now, when most people hear the word loner, they imagine isolation, bitterness, or retreat. But Musashi's idea of being a loner was the opposite. For him, walking alone meant refusing to let your mind be controlled by the world around you. It meant discipline over distraction, focus over noise, truth over comfort, and above all, it meant trusting yourself with a depth that most people avoid. So let's walk through Musashi's mindset and the spirit behind the Dokkodo, to understand what it truly means to follow the path of the lone warrior. Musashi's life, forged in fire before the principles, you have to understand the man. Musashi fought more than 60 duels and never lost. But his greatness didn't come from brute strength or some mystical gift. It came from self-reliance. In a time when warriors relied on clans for identity and purpose, Musashi refused to attach himself to anyone. He believed dependence, whether emotional or social, was a trap. He slept outdoors, carried almost nothing, traveled constantly, observed everything, and trained relentlessly. His loneliness wasn't a curse, it was a weapon, a tool that sharpened his awareness and kept his spirit from being entangled in the desires, expectations, and fears of other people. That's the spirit of the Dokkodo, a clarity you can only reach when you strip away everything unnecessary, accept everything just the way it is. The first principle sounds simple, but it's one of the hardest to embody. Musashi wasn't telling us to be passive. He was telling us to stop wasting energy, resisting reality. When a warrior gets caught wishing things were different, he becomes blind. Acceptance frees the mind to act with precision. It cuts away emotional fog. It forces you to deal with the world as it actually is, not as you hope or fear it might be. This is the beginning of walking alone, standing in truth without flinching. Do not seek pleasure for its own sake. To Musashi, pleasure wasn't evil, but dependence was. When pleasure becomes your compass, discipline dies. The body becomes the master, and the mind becomes the servant. Musashi understood that true freedom requires the ability to walk away from comfort, even when it's right in front of you. A loner, in Musashi's terms, doesn't run from pleasure, but he refuses to be ruled by it. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. Ego is the enemy of mastery. Musashi knew that pride makes you predictable. Arrogance makes you slow. When you think lightly of yourself, you don't cling to identity or reputation. You can move freely, adapt freely, and learn relentlessly. But think deeply of the world means paying attention, really paying attention, to the forces moving around you, the environment, people's intentions, the subtle shifts in emotion or opportunity. Musashi's path requires observation so sharp it borders on spiritual insight. This is why solitude mattered. Space to truly see. Do not fear death. Not because death is noble, but because fear interrupts clarity. Musashi's calm in combat wasn't superhuman. It was the result of decades spent training his mind to move beyond the fear that controls most people's decisions. Living as a loner means confronting the deepest fear, the ending of the self. When you stop fearing death, everything else becomes lighter. Challenges shrink, insults fade, hardship becomes training. A mind that doesn't fear death is a mind that can't be enslaved. Avoid jealousy. Musashi understood that jealousy is spiritual poison. It pulls your gaze away from your own path. It makes you compare your journey to someone else's. And comparison is the death of self-mastery. A loner protects his inner world from this corrosion. He focuses on sharpening his own blade, not envying another man's shine. Do not regret what you have done. To Musashi, regret wasn't a sign of humility. It was a sign of stagnation. Regret traps you in the past, draining your strength for the present moment. He knew that every choice leads to the next step on your path. Instead of regret, Musashi emphasized understanding. Learn from your actions, but never cling to them. To walk alone is to let your past be your teacher, not your prison. Never be saddened by a separation. This principle is powerful and often misunderstood. Musashi wasn't saying relationships don't matter. He was saying attachment becomes suffering when you cling. People enter and exit our lives for reasons we may not understand. A loner is grateful for the connection, but not shattered by its absence. He lets people go the same way he lets moments go, without trying to hold them still. Do not be influenced by the moods of others. This might be one of the most important principles for modern life. We live in a world overflowing with emotion, news, social media, constant opinions. Musashi knew that absorbing other people's moods weakens your balance. A warrior must remain centered, grounded, and anchored within. Walking alone means your emotional world is your own. Despise no one. Even though Musashi was a solitary figure, he wasn't hateful. He didn't look down on others. Judgment clouds the mind. Hatred drains energy. When you despise others, you give them power. Musashi's approach was controlled neutrality. He observed without contempt, acted without ego, and moved without emotional waste. Do not depend on any partial feeling. Feelings shift like wind. Musashi trained himself to act based on insight and principle, not temporary emotions. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. It means not building your life on them. Your actions should come from a deeper place: purpose, clarity, and grounded intention. Do not collect weapons or practice with weapons beyond what is useful. Musashi famously defeated opponents using wooden swords, farming tools, or whatever was available. He believed that a warrior's true weapon is the mind. Collecting objects or obsessing over equipment creates dependence. Walking alone means your strength comes from within, not from tools. Respect the gods, but do not rely on their help. Musashi believed in spiritual forces, but he also believed in personal responsibility. Faith without action is empty. A loner honors the divine, but relies on discipline, wisdom, and strategy. You may abandon your own body, but you must preserve your honor. Honor in Musashi's world didn't mean reputation. It meant integrity, staying aligned with your principles, even when everything else is threatened. The body can be harmed, the mind can be challenged, but the spirit, your inner truth, must not be compromised. So what does all of this mean for us today? Musashi's Dokkodo isn't a call to isolate yourself from the world. It's a call to anchor yourself so deeply in your own principles that no distraction, no temptation, no emotion, and no person can pull you off your path. It's about developing a way of being that is steady, disciplined, aware, and self-reliant. To walk alone is not to be lonely. It is to be complete, even when you are by yourself. And maybe that's why Musashi's teachings still resonate centuries later. Because deep down, each of us is fighting our own battles, searching for clarity, seeking strength, trying to hear our own voice in a world full of noise. Dokkodo gives us a blueprint, not to live like Musashi, but to live like ourselves, with courage, honesty, and intention. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe. I appreciate each and every one of you. God bless you. See you in the next video.